Let's talk further thoughts on Wednesday. As I was driving up to Vegas, we had a conversation. I enjoy this show. Is it going to change the world or change my life? Is it the greatest show ever? It actually is not. Is it a fun 90s sitcom lawyer drama? I found it fun. Is it feminist? It's definitely feminist. Is it woke? A little bit, but not in an annoying way. I would say there's even ways where it's very like woke people are going to hate it. In particular, when this character, Madison, shows up. Madison shows up in like, I think is it episode 3 or 4? She is a party girl who's plastered drunk all the time, wearing a mini skirt and heels, who tries to hook up with Wong. And she's very much a type of female character that you'd never...
You wouldn't see it in a woke show.
You wouldn't see it in a woke show ever.
Or at least highlighted in the way that she is.
Yeah.
Well.
To further thoughts, and please chime in with your own thoughts, please, because you've seen the first episode. I'll just say this. The first episode, and I will, I want to say, put a shout out to Chato. Paul Chato, look up his channel. He did a review, and he's only seen the first episode, and he agrees with us. He actually... Alan, he seems to like the show.
Mm-hmm. He basically says, as an executive, he is positive to the show and is definitely interested in seeing the second episode. But there's a lot of it's pretty much a backhanded compliment at the moment. But for the most part, he liked it.
Yeah, for the most part, he liked it and wants to watch the rest of it. I'm excited for him to see it, and I'm excited for you to see it. I don't know if we're going to get any further episodes, but the problem is the Disney series, the ones that have started out well, like have all disappointed. Are there any Disney series that started out well and didn't end poorly? WandaVision, Moon Knight.
Well, I mean, people go best series on Disney Plus, and I go, well, yeah, of the Disney Plus originals. This is probably the best of the series. No,
of the Disney Plus Marvel originals, I think this is the best one because all of them have been terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
All of them have been terrible. Hawkeye, I mean, just go on and on. I can't think of one. So because this knows what it wants to be, it's a 90s legal sitcom in the vein of Ally McBeal. The feminism is along the lines of Mary Tyler Moore. Mm-hmm. It's not, it's sort of like, it's old school feminism. It's, I thought it was fun. It knows what it wants. It's also short, thankfully. It's 25 minutes. Some of the episodes are short.
I mean, they're all between 30 to 40 minutes.
Well, that's no. There's not one that's.
Oh yeah, with the 10-minute credits at the end. And they're good
7 minutes. 7 minutes.
But I will say that, I think the first episode is not the one that is going to endear people to the show because it's the most unlike. It's unlike the other episodes. The others are very much courtroom legal comedy, basically.
Legal comedy, exactly. Yeah. The first episode has
it's the origin story.
Yeah, it's the origin story, and they might have actually been better off putting that in the middle of the show. Like, how did she become She-Hulk? There's no reason. I mean, like, telling stories out of order that happens all the time. We're gonna keep talking about this. Let's go to your comments. VDR says Alan gets his checks from Disney and Chris gets his from Mumbai. Possibly. There you go.
Like I said, I'm going to D23, so
yeah, definitely pick up your back up a truck to get your money, Alan. Immortal Remus says, would have been easier if they just cast a tall, athletic, 6-foot actress in green FX makeup to play She-Hulk as the 24/7 version and CG Chris Evans her for the first episode before the first transformation. Yeah, I mean, maybe just do it like they did in the original CBS show with Bill Bixby. That would have been great. I mean, that is one way to do it. It's fine. So
yeah, I mean, they don't. By no means are we getting Thanos quality graphics here.
Well, I'll say this. Look, Film Thread has always been an outlet that has opinions that will be counter to things. Not all the time, but it's like I like to think we provide a different take, but also like yes, most Hollywood stuff sucks. Like the baseline of Hollywood most of it is garbage and not worth your time. So here's some alternative films, some other choices. Just like when they used to have video stores, there's the like sight line, like right as you're looking, that's all the mainstream bullshit. And then like at the bottom of the rack, that's I thing, look at the bottom of the rack. Like that's where all the trauma stuff is. Movies like Poultrygeist. VDR says it's not woke, it's half asleep. Daniel is a member. Thank you, Daniel. She-Hulk isn't for everyone, but it isn't the trash so many claim it is. Yeah, I would say that. It was like when I saw Morbius, and it's just like, oh, Morbius isn't very good, but it's not garbage. It's not awful. I think Jared Leto takes himself way too seriously. But I think that actually works for an actor trying to embody a role. But you gotta give Disney or Marvel credit just for like they did a show called She-Hulk and it's actually about her. These other shows have been BS.
And unlike calling it the Mutants instead of X-Men, they actually kept the title She-Hulk.
Exactly. And, Retro Nerd Girl.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first episode. It's not like anything in the MCU. This feels like a real TV show. It's having fun with itself. Yeah, cool. But also like I've seen the complaints people have had, and I think they could be considered a little nitpicky for me. For me, they could be a little nitpicky in the sense that like how her origin is. Okay, in the comic, she gets a blood transfusion.
A literal blood transfusion.
Their blood mixes accidentally in an accident. And the one thing is, someone asked, and I can't believe I didn't notice this, he had the inhibitor on his wrist. That's why he didn't transform into the Hulk. Yeah. So, yeah.
And I will also say that the nitpicking, that's where the trailers do it disservice. The gags, the lines, the scenes in the trailer work so much better in the context of the show than it does mixed together with in a trailer.
Everyone's forgetting the fact that like Hulk proves he's stronger than her. He throws the boulder. When he throws the second boulder, he throws it further. It goes and burns in the atmosphere, and she's just like, okay, I can't do that, right? Bait and switch plus, says Patrick Amir. Leto is a bit much, says Scott Slaughterback. I'll say this. I like to work with passionate people. I don't care. Whenever I've had, like, even the shittiest jobs I've had, I worked at Burger King making burgers, flipping burgers, fast food when I was just out of high school. Okay. I worked the midnight shift. So it was like late night. I'd come in at like 10 p.m. and I would leave at 5 a.m. and you could take free burgers home. My mom loved that. But it was, you know what I did? I did the best fucking job. I did a great job working at Burger King. I love it when people bring their A game, their most passion, and care about doing a job well. I don't care what the job is. So Jared Leto, I give him credit. He's a bit much. When he was on Suicide Squad, he was sending like dead rats and notes to like the cast in character as Joker. That's commitment. So I give Jared Leto a lot of credit. And Morbius, not a great film, but it's not a terrible disaster. I feel like we try to avoid hyperbole for the most part. Having said that, like, it's like, oh, that's a valid criticism. That's a valid criticism. Like, I get it. Daniel for 5, She-Hulk would smash Allen, but pass Flaccid Phoenix. There you go. CD Stein 69 for 999. She-Hulk was okay. Only real cringe moment was the whole "as a woman, all I have to deal with" monologue. Otherwise, it's what I expected for a sitcom. Yeah, I found that monologue a little annoying, but I also felt like it's her journey as a character. She's that's where she's like this whiny bitch, right? It's kind of a whiny bitch. She's got to learn. Like, no, seriously. I mean, like, if depending on the version they go, because it didn't really. I mean, like, Hulk in this sort of new incarnation was abused as a kid, like an abusive father. Like, men have their own struggles. You know what we do? We learn to suck it up. Maybe what She-Hulk learns is she's got to learn to suck it up.
Yeah, maybe we as men can just explain it to her in a way that
I would definitely explain it to her. I would cut her off and I would totally explain it to her. Say, look, let's get.
Let me tell you how it works.
Spider Geronimo, She-Hulk in the city. I love that comment. That's great. Spidey Sensei 72 for 5. Chris, you've seen the first 4 episodes. Does it get better in your opinion or not? Yes, it gets better. The 4th episode I wasn't a fan of, but it settles in. It's like I really feel like they should have taken the origin episode, put it in the middle of the show. Because the show is a lawyer show. It's a legal show. It's a legal, like it's a 90s lawyer sitcom show with feminism on the on the level of like a old school feminism, like from the 80s or even the 70s. On that note, cause it's getting a little hot in here.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that
my film
I will say
shirt,
that okay.
It says film threatist AF. I remember I was at, where was I? I was at some swap meet in Pasadena, and I saw some gangly, skinny dude that I think if I breathed on him, he would have fell over, that had one of those handlebar mustaches. He looked like he probably was he was in the Antifa reserves because he wasn't strong enough to be in Antifa, this guy. And he was wearing a shirt that said feminist AF. No surprise to anyone. And as soon as I saw that, I said, we have to make a shirt that says film threatist AF, just to goof on that thing. Anyways, Alan, you were saying.
I think Retro Nerd Girl said it best. It feels very much like a TV show, especially when you get into the second, third, and fourth episodes.
Yeah, the other Marvel shows, I don't know what they're trying to be. The WandaVision show was like, okay, this is weird. The first 3 episodes I really liked, and then it was like, what is this show trying to be? What is this?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it takes such a drastic tone after the 3rd episode, because they had that gimmick going through it.
Right. The
and
gimmick.
then and then it just kind of fell to the wayside at the end.
Yeah.